right. Greetings. Welcome to Cyber News, where everything is connected. How are y'all doing? Sorry for the extended intro. If you guessed that I forgot to make coffee before the show, you are correct. Anyways, we're here. Hello. And greetings. Thanks for hanging out with me every day on the internet. We are live on YouTube, Callin, and on Rockfin. Rockfenders, how you doing? I see people. Oh, thanks, Denver. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. So much. If you've not heard the whole record, you can go purchase the record on my Bandcamp. Sandbloom.bandcamp.com. That's where you can find me. All right. Is it crackling? Okay. Check, check. That should be better. Was the music crackling when it started? Or just my microphone? As long as the music wasn't crackling, I'm cool. I'm cool. Crackle alert. All right. Should be better. Y'all there still? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, you didn't hear any music? Oh, I see. Just mic. Just mic. Okay, cool. Great. Good to know. Thanks, guys. All right, let's get into it. Lots of things happening in the news and lots of things happening, of course, on the planet. We're trying to cover a little bit of everything, and so forgive me if I jump around. Just get out your seat and jump around. Jump around. Let's see. I'm waiting for some links to get. Anyways, there was a Republican debate. Maybe you care, maybe you don't. I don't know. I just saw excerpts from it. And I actually might go back and listen to some extended parts of it, because it seemed like there were some interesting things said. I mean, mostly I hate debates. Mostly debates are really, really boring. Mostly debates are a lot of like canned messages written by, little interns standing behind people going like that. Only you can't see them in the debates, right? They're standing off stage going. Anyways. But this is Vivek Ramaswamy seems to be the one that everybody was talking about. And he said some controversial things or some things that put people on their edge. I don't know. I mean, I think he's saying things that resonate with people on a popular level, and that's what that's also what politicians do, is say things that they think are going to resonate with people. But it seems that in general people are not into the Ukraine war. Not just Republicans, but Democrats as well. Oh, I meant to go find another video. People are not very happy with the idea unhappy with the idea that we're in this war and that people's bank accounts are going down and inflation's going up and gas prices are going up and people are having a hard time making ends meet and companies are laying off people and companies are going under and companies are filing for bankruptcy and like all kinds of stuff like that are happening, and they're not happy that we're sending so much money. Anyways, this is from Revolutionary Blackout Networks. It says, I still think people are underestimating how much the American people are tired of the Ukraine war. The Republican nominee will be someone who opposes the Ukraine war. And if Democrats plan on challenging Republicans on that, they will get absolutely destroyed. That is a true statement. Is anybody still here, still like thinks that the Ukraine war is a fight for democracy and that Putin is Hitler and blah, 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 blah? I still see people calling him Putler, which is, I don't know, a little bit ridiculous. Anyways, here's Vivek Ramaswamy talking about the Ukraine war. And the applause tells you all you need to know. Hold on.
Support an increase of funding to Ukraine. I would not. And I think that this is disastrous. That we are protecting against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border here in the United States of America. We are driving Russia further into China's hands. The Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat we face. And I find it offensive that we have professional politicians on the stage that will make a pilgrimage to Kyiv, to their Pope, Zelensky, without doing the same thing for people in Maui or the south side of Chicago or Kensington. I think that we have to put the interests of Americans first, secure our own border instead of somebody else's. And the reality is, this is also how we project strength by making America strong at home. We heard Ramaswamy. You would not support any.
I mean, Lance, I'm not going to take your call right now, man. I apologize. I'm covering some news. Anyways, he seemed to do a really good job and resonate with people. He also did claim, very matter-of-factly, that climate change was a hoax. And again, a lot of this is tailored to what is popular opinion, right? It's tailored to, climate change is a hoax is a very fashionable idea. It's even, it doesn't matter that it's not based on anything. It's fashionable. It's fashionable among circles who, it's unfortunate. This is one of the things that just absolutely boggles my mind, but, it is what it is. It's fashionable to think, among people who are into truth and free speech and alternative news and, what's going on in the world, but they somehow, when they get to the subject, they fall into a black hole of stupidity. But, it is what it is. And here he is claiming that climate change is a hoax. Steve Austin says, F this a-hole, people are dying.
Let's be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax. And we have to declare independence for it. Let us be honest.
Actually, so what I thought was interesting about that clip, booze. My seriously, like, the very, very interesting thing about that clip, this is on Fox News, and you can imagine that the people that are in the crowd are Fox News viewers or people who might lean that way. Boo. What does that mean? Maybe it's not that fashionable. Maybe even Republicans understand that climate change is real. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, okay, maybe the applause is canned or drummed up, or maybe you want to think that maybe it's staged on somehow. But I'm going to assume that the applause is coming from a real place. So he says no to the Ukraine war. Everybody's like, yay. And he says climate change is a hoax. And there are very real and loud boos going on. Which says to me that even Republicans, even people who watch Fox News, even people who lean that way understand something is wrong. Something's going on. So even though it's a fashionable idea, to push out there to the truth community, or to the people that are on a particular side of certain stories, it shows me that enough people have enough, I guess, just sensory, information, right? Enough knowledge just on the ground that they are like, no, it's not. So that's an interesting, that was, to me, was the most interesting thing about this clip. Not that he said that it was a hoax. That wasn't interesting or even, unexpected, right? Oh, whoa, he said it was a hoax. Didn't Donald Trump say it was a hoax? I mean, to the people that are like, oh my God, he came out and said it. And even him saying, I'm not bought and sold, so I can say this. No, it's not that. It's really not that controversial, or not that, like, he didn't say, anyways. Very good, Judy Truitt. I interpret agenda to mean all the greenwashing that's going on. That's very good. Good to. I'm glad you picked that out and you pointed that out. He said the climate change agenda. So that's true. If you're taking his words literally, that's not necessarily meaning that climate change itself is a hoax. The agenda, sure. Interesting. I just thought this clip was interesting, but the response was interesting. Anyways, Trump said it's a hoax, and every other Republican, nominee has hinted that it was a hoax or not real or isn't important or it's not a thing. So this is not like, whoa. It's not it's not, whoa, crazy. He got on stage and admitted the truth. Calm down already with all that stuff. He told the truth. No, every Republican president nominee, generally goes, tries to, if they don't outright disbelieve climate change, they play it down as much as they possibly can. So this is not new. This is not groundbreaking. This is not, breaking the narrative. This is not anything like that. Osama. That's funny. That's funny. Anyways, what else is new in the general news cycle? I'm not going to take any calls right now, guys. I'll take some calls later in the show. I'm trying to get through some stories. So I know I am simulcasting on call-in, but sometimes it just disrupts the flow of the show to take calls earlier. At the end of the show, I will take calls, or tomorrow, Friday, the lines will be open all show. Oh, anyways, excuse me. The other thing that's happening in the news is that masks are back again, or COVID mask mandates or policies somehow. Why? Because this, just random variant that came out that doesn't have any science behind it, right? There's no, what I mean by that is the science of, like, is it more transmissible? Is it more deadly? Is it more, they're just saying, like, oh, it's the same, like, cases are rising, and we know how that can be concocted, right? It's not necessarily, these are not, you don't have to believe the numbers because they probably aren't actual real numbers. Sorry if you doubt what I'm saying, just think about how they report inflation. Right? They come out with, inflation it's been going down every month for the last year. That's not true. That you can see that with your eyes. Unless you're going to the hospital to see actual COVID cases with your eyes, you don't know whether there's more COVID cases either. So, unless my Aunt Betty got COVID, so that means there's more cases. Who knows? Anyways, masks are supposedly coming back And the interesting thing, a lot of people are talking about the fact that a whistleblower was on Alex Jones just like a week or two ago, saying that all the COVID mandates were coming back, and then like a week or two later, they do. That is coincidence, I'm sure. Anyways, let's listen to this. I didn't really want to talk. I just want to cover this as a news story. But what I wanted to do is play this comedy bit from Rob Schneider about masks, which is pretty funny. A little comedic relief. And sometimes it's just, I don't know, comedy is a better way to get some information out there than me dryly reading a story about how the mask mandates are coming back. This is a little more entertaining. Okay? Okay. Here we go.
My daughter just lost her tooth, you know? And like she's 6, you know? And the tooth fairy, you know?
The tooth fairy gonna come. I lost my tooth. The tooth fairy coming, Daddy. Tooth fairy. I'm gonna put it under my pillow. Tooth fairy, give me money.
My 10-year-old, she's over it. She's like, how long do we have to put up with this shit? And I said, hey, come on, it's your sister. It's a beautiful thing. The idea that there's this entity, someone who does something really nice for you just because something fell out of your head, you know? It's just a nice thing to have in the universe, you know? Let's keep that going as long as we can. Because it's nice to have something to believe in. It's not true, but you believe in it for as long as you can. Until you find out it's just, you know, a lie. That's why Tony Fauci, he was like the COVID fairy. It's a COVID fairy. Remember in the beginning, listen, you don't have to wear a mask. You may make you feel better if you wear a mask, but they don't really work. They may make you feel better, but, you know, they don't actually work and prevent anything, you know. But we need to save the mask for the essential workers, because the virus can tell the difference between an essential worker and a piece of shit like you can. So you don't have to wear a mask. 2 weeks later, everybody's got to wear a mask. I'm sorry, just cover your face with anything. It doesn't matter. A tennis racket, a tennis shoe, put anything over your face. Your wife's panties, your wife's ass. Put something in front of your face. Just, I don't know how you strap your wife's ass to your face, but try. Just do it. You know, do it anyway. But you only have to wear the mask of your wife's ass in your face until this vaccine. Once you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask anymore because you're protected. Because the thing about the whole theory of vaccinology is you can't give it, you can't get it, you're protected. That's what the vaccine is. So once you get the shot, then you're fine. You don't have to wear a mask anymore because you're protected. That's the whole thing about vaccination. So once you're vaccinated, you don't have to worry anymore. You can't give it, you can't get it. It's like, what? Okay, you can still get it, you can still get it. But here's the thing. But you can only, we might need to have a booster. But a booster is not another shot. You already had the shot. A booster is just a booster. If it was a shot, we call it a shot. It's a booster, you know. The shot's a shot. The booster's like a, you know, the shots are, you know, but you don't want to be, once you get the booster, and then you're done. You get the booster, you get the one shot, boom, and the booster, and you're fine. You're protected. 100%. You can't give it, you can't get it. With it? Okay, there's a rumor you may need 2 shots and 2 boosters. Okay, it's not, I don't know how it happened, but it's a rumor. It may be true. I don't know, but you might need 2 shots and 2 boosters. But again, a booster's not a shot. You know, a shot's a shot. If a booster was a shot, we'd tell you. But it's not. It's a booster. It's a booster. Here comes a booster. It's not. It's a shot. We tell you. Anyway, 2 boosters. But then when you have it, you're completely protected. You can't give it. You can't get it from anybody. If you're protected, you get the 2 shots and 2 boosters. You can't give it. You get what? Okay, you can still get it. You can still get it. That's a problem. It's a problem. But listen, if you got the 2 shots and the 2 boosters and you give it to somebody, the guy's gonna go, well, at least he's got the 2 shots and the 2 boosters. You know. But if you don't get the shots, if you don't get the boosters, and then you give it to somebody, the guy's gonna go, oh, this guy, he's not buying into this bullshit. They didn't get the boosters. Fauci, the head of the CDC, Walensky, and Joe Biden, they all got 2 shots, 2 boosters, and they still got COVID. And they're like, oh, we're very fortunate that we were boosted, vaccinated. 4 shots and you still get it? 4. If I wear 4 condoms and I still get monkeypox, I'm gonna be pissed. Who's making these condoms? By the way, if you don't want to get monkeypox, don't put a mask over your face, put it over your ass, because that's how you get it. Can you stop lying about this stuff, finally?
Oh, that's good. That is good. Love that one. Rob Schneider telling the truth in a very comedic way about how masks totally work and vaccines totally are the greatest and totally work too. Telling the truth. Awesome. Good stuff. Rob Schneider. I can tell you, I rose on Rockfin says, COVID is back. How do we push back this time around? And that I was just about to get there. Well, I was about to get to that question. I don't know if I have the answer. I, for one, am going to be very vocal about I'm not doing, I mean, I was vocal before. I ain't doing none of this. Again, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. And I urge you all not to do it. I think it's going to be a hard sell, honestly. I don't think that, I think people on the whole are super, super duper over it. And they, even people who kind of mostly bought the story, there's a lot of skeptical, former, COVID believers out there. So a lot of people who bought the story are like, yeah. Anyways, I can't go, I don't want to go like way far deep on this on YouTube, but Matt, we know that Fauci said exactly what Rob Schneider said. They're not going to do, Fauci said out of his mouth, they're not going to do anything for you. And there's a whole lot of conflicting information on masks and whether they work or not. When you're talking about in a medical setting, that's totally different. Why? Because people usually are either wearing gloves too, or they've sanitized themselves, they washed up, right? They put the mask on, they don't touch their mask. They, one mask and they take it off and throw it away. That's totally like a different thing than somebody, putting on a mask, taking it off, putting it back again, touching it with their hands and getting all, adjusting it. That's like, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, Sean Kelly, that's a falsehood. I don't know. I mean, that's fine if you want to believe that, but that's actually a falsehood. That's not true at all. And in fact, there's been many, many studies out there that actually show that people who are vaccinated, triple vaccinated, quadruple vaccinated are actually more likely to get it. I'm quoting studies. I'm just saying there are studies out there. So I don't know, you can go look that up yourself. I probably don't use Google because they want to tell you what you want to hear, or they'll tell you what they want you to know. But if you want to believe that, that's totally your right. All right. And of course, yes, that is exactly, Judy Truitt. That is a totally made up statement. I mean, that, not what Sean Kelly said, what people told Sean Kelly to think. The people on TV that said that thing over and over again, that was totally, completely made up. Complete falsehood. All right. And then lastly, there was a story from last week that I just want to hit before we move on. That the FDA had approved ivermectin for use. That's not actually the truth. And and they all could be correct in just the wording of that. But what the story is that the FDA was forced to walk back anti-ivermectin post, and they made an admission about the drug. So after years of denigrating ivermectin as dangerous and as a horse medicine, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has been forced to retreat on its all-out attack on the medicine after 3 doctors sued the agency in federal court for impeding their right as medical providers to prescribe the medicine to their patients. Right? They've even said they've even tried to de-license doctors for prescribing this, which is wild. Anyways, the FDA made a key admission in court during a Tuesday proceeding in which lawyers for the doctors asked the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals whether doctors have the right to prescribe ivermectin, since the FDA approved the drug for use in humans way back in 1986. But, ivermectin, totally dangerous. Just want you to know that. It's completely super dangerous for use against COVID, but perfectly fine for other things. But don't use it for COVID because it's dangerous. All right? Anyway, so what was the FDA's shocking admission? The FDA explicitly recognizes that doctors do have the authority to prescribe ivermectin to treat COVID. This is Ashley Chung Honold, a Department of Justice lawyer representing the FDA, said on Tuesday during the oral arguments in the case. So that's what it was. It wasn't that the FDA approved ivermectin. They said they couldn't stop doctors. They admitted they couldn't stop it. This is in a court proceeding. Again, ivermectin's super bad for you if you have COVID. And vaccines totally work. Vaccines are great. Masks totally work too. All right. Anyways, did y'all hear about that? That's news. That's some news. All right. Getting into some other things that are happening on planet Earth today. There are competing heat domes. Competing historic heat domes across the Atlantic, and as intense as the U.S. dome is, France may have it beat on the ground with dozens and dozens of all-time records today. It's not coincidence; it's climate change. Yeah, hard to make this one up. Hard to fake this one. Hard to engineer this one. Because I think people are experiencing heat, right? I think people are going like, yes, it is hot. Yes, my crops are failing because it is hot. In France, 111 degrees. I don't know if that's a feels like or a heat index or an actual temperature. They say here in Waterloo, 125 heat index. That is massively warm. They don't say whether it's a heat index reading in France, so don't know about that one. Oh, he explains it. 125 in Waterloo, Iowa is the heat index. 111 in Ciron, France is an actual high. Jesus. 111 is the actual temperature. Dang, that is warm. Spain, hottest day on record. I don't know how many times that's happened this year or how many more times that's going to happen this year. Historic heat in Spain, hottest day on record, 44. C, Bilbao, 43.9. Tortosa, 41.4. Santander, 43.3. These are just, I mean, what are all these? Up in the 115s, 112s, 113s, 115s, 116s, or something like that. It's very warm. All-time high in Italy, 37.2 in Casale. Albania, 41.4. Someone else points out in Switzerland yesterday at DeSantis, 32.8 C in Switzerland. So warm for that part of the world. Rich Diana says 92 in the mitten today with a heat index at 103. Yeah. That'll get your blood pumping. And Something's in the Water says France is shutting down their nuclear facilities because the water they use to cool the reactors is too hot. Yeah, they do that every year now. They do that every single summer now. They close down their nuclear reactors because the water is too hot to cool them. So let's build some more nuclear reactors, guys. Okay, because that is super, super renewable. Super clean energy. Nuclear reactors on the coast of Texas. You think that's a good idea? All right. Yeah, it's a great idea. All righty. 45 degrees in winter in Argentina. Oh, no, Bolivia. Sorry. $45°C. Good God. And this is their winter, right? $45°C in winter. This ties the highest temperature ever recorded in meteorological winter in the whole southern hemisphere. Good Lord. And yeah, that is super duper warm. What is that in Fahrenheit? 113 in the winter. Good God. Good God. All right, let's keep going. Chicago. We were just talking about heat domes and whatnot. In Chicago, they recorded a high feels like temperature. Heat index of 116. Second highest heat index on record as the Midwest bakes under oppressive heat wave. Heat indices have locally climbed as high as 125 to 130 Fahrenheit across northern Illinois and eastern Iowa. Those feels like temps getting into 125, 130 area. Let's keep going. And here's some of your daily flood footage from Black Bear News. Get your daily flood here. These floods are amazing, outstanding. Bigger and better than ever. This is in the Dominican Republic from yesterday. God, Lee, people are really struggling on this one. And in Atlanta, from Steven Donziger, they people wanted. You guys know about the Cop City thing that they're building in the Atlanta woods? In the woods outside of Atlanta, they're building a huge training facility, which sounds real peaceful, right? It's something, a fascist state would never do that. Build a gigantic police training facility outside of Atlanta. It's called Cop City. And so the public asked, they want, somebody suggested that they put a vote on whether this thing continued to be built, put it to the public and see what they have to say. But what the mayor of Atlanta knew was that the public was against it. They don't like it. They don't want it. They don't like it. So he's trying to block the popular vote on Cop City. And Steven Donziger links this article from Mother Jones for details on how Atlanta Mayor Dickens plans to use a voter suppression technique to try and block a vote on the disastrous Cop City Police Training Complex. See this article, but anyways, he's trying to block a popular vote on it because he knows that people don't want it. Very unpopular. Cop City. Cop City. Let's see. And, it's really good that the Democrats won the last election because they seem to be just running around doing good things for the people, giving people money and health care. Oh, no, that's not happening? Oh, I see. They're running around trying to, fix climate change and, stop. Oh, that's not happening either? Okay. They're trying to make people, do things they're trying to help build stronger unions so that people get better. Oh, that's not happening either? Oh, it's awesome when we vote for Democrats because they're better than Republicans. Oh, that's not happening either? Okay. But what they are doing is going to the Ukraine to slap the back of old Zelensky. Yeah. Some Joey Manorino. This video is disgusting. Richard Blumenthal, Elizabeth Warren, who surely cares about the people. Elizabeth Warren. You know how everybody was like, Elizabeth Warren, man, she is so progressive. Got to vote for her. Look at all the amazing things she's done since Joe Biden took office. All those policies and the banking reform and the tax. What? You mean none of that happened either? Oh, golly. That is funny. It's weird how that happens. I don't know how that happens. Surely the Democrats care about you more than the Republicans. Surely that they are way less fascist. Donald Trump. I mean, they just care about the people and they want to stop wars. Oh no, wait, what happened? Oh, they started a war? Oh, okay. Oh man, that's funny how that happens. I don't know. Anyways, Elizabeth Warren and Lindsey Graham, you know how they're buddies and pals and stuff, flew to Ukraine for a fourth time to meet with Zelensky. Look how they're slapping each other on the back like old pals. They discussed providing Ukraine with even more money and possibly F-16 weapons. Yeah. This stuff makes my blood boil. Americans are dying every day of starvation and poverty. We have cities that look worse than Somalia. Our infrastructure is pathetic. Yet here, our supposed leaders are flying back and forth to take care of a country that isn't our problem. How does this video make you feel? Yeah. I mean, Bernie Sanders isn't there personally, but he's there in spirit because he totally believes in the war in Ukraine. He is there in spirit. He's got Elizabeth Warren just there representing the progressives, right? Progressives who are so pro-war, so like pro, fixing the planet and the climate change and stuff. Progressives. What else is happening in the world? The BRICS summit happened. And, for people who just care about the economy if you live in the United States and you care about the economy, and maybe the economy of the Western world, this could be bad. That the BRICS contingency is getting stronger, right? De-dollarization is inevitable, and the U.S. have nobody to blame but themselves. This is from Revolutionary Blackout Network. The BRICS summit is significant because we have giant economies that are organizing for that cause, and they are looking to expand. Is this the start of a new global order? Let's listen to this video.
Hegemonic dominance and a shift towards de-dollarization. That is the message you're hearing from Xi Jinping, Putin, and Lula as they meet at the latest BRICS summit, where they discuss de-dollarization and expanding membership for their bloc. This is why this summit is so significant, because you have leaders in at least 23 nations that express desire to join BRICS. And BRICS as a bloc already surpassed the G7 in terms of GDP. So you have BRICS that represents around 40% of the population, 30% of the global trade, and a fourth of the world's economy that united behind the goal of de-dollarization. Woo, we are fucking screwed, fam. It's been a long time coming, fam, because it's not a coincidence that the countries that make up a BRICS and the nations who want to join BRICS have all been victims of Western imperialism and Western sanctions. Lula, for example, has been a harsh critic of Russian sanctions and have been calling for peace talks in Ukraine. Lula has been a harsh critic of the IMF as well, and that's why he's been calling for Argentina to join BRICS, because he blames the IMF for help bankrupting Argentina. BRICS has a lot of work to do, and they're not perfect, but providing an alternative for countries who've been victims of the IMF and U.S. sanctions is nothing but a great thing, and anti-imperialists should be rooting for them.
Yeah. More on BRICS. Announced they will be accepting more countries are joining BRICS. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, consider the scenario that the U.S. is the world, it's the world hegemon, and has been screwing, countries over for at least a few centuries or more. Probably not more than a few centuries, a century or more. Right? Financially and or militarily. And now all of a sudden people are like, yeah, maybe we do want to join this financial bloc that is diametrically opposed to the United States. BRICS has formally announced that they will be accepting Argentina, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and United Arab Emirates into their grouping. The petrodollar is dead. Saudi Arabia. I thought they were our ally. Whoops. Saudi Arabia is the one in there that is deeply tied to the petrodollar being dead. That's not a good sign. Lastly, this is such a ridiculous. I don't care. Hate Donald Trump all you want. It's all good. You may hate him, and that's fine. He's a hateable guy. But this headline is so insane. They're comparing Donald Trump to O.J. Simpson. What? Donald Trump finally gets his OJ moment. I mean, come on, man. Come on. But, plenty this is called, this is how propaganda works. You compare him to a double murderer or somebody who's tried for double murder, and okay. I mean, maybe. But that's not what he's being tried for. But that is a wild. That's just wild. Come on, man. That's how propaganda works, though. And it goes both ways. Right? On the right, everything's communist and socialist. They're communist. Communist takeover of the. I don't even know what communism means, but it just sounds good when I say I hate communism. Everybody just eats it up. Oh. Anyways. So wild, though. Wild. Rockfinders, how you doing? I'm just looking through some of these. Oh, I forgot to tell you. All right, the best possible ways to support this channel is paypal.me/Kevin Sandblum, Venmo at Kevin Sandblum, Cash App at Red Llama Music, buymeacoffee.com/BlackBearNews. You can super chat me, super ray me, super do ray me. And Patreon as well is a good way to support the channel. And I thank everyone who supports this channel. Y'all are beautiful. I think that about wraps it up. I know I started a little bit later. Give me one moment, guys. Give me one moment. Still here with you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking through. I know there were some things from yesterday that I. Oh, lastly, there's a possibility of a plea deal for Julian Assange. Let's talk about this for just a moment. The U.S. ambassador to Australia said that there could be a resolution. Y'all believe this or no? You believe this might happen? The United States is considering a plea deal that would allow WikiLeaks founder and whistleblower Julian Assange to return to Australia. Anybody hear about this one? U.S. Ambassador to Australia Caroline Kennedy told the Morning Herald that there could be a resolution to Assange's now 4-year detention in Britain. Assange, an Australian citizen, has been held in a London prison since 2019 while combating U.S. extradition efforts. He faces 18 criminal charges in the U.S., 17 of which allege violations of the Espionage Act. Kennedy's comments come weeks after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken rebuffed Australia's calls to end the prosecution against Assange. Well, that's interesting because Australia has mostly been fence-sitting. Right? People have been wondering, like, why, where is Australia in there? Why aren't they helping Julian Assange? Isn't he an Australian citizen? He is. After a July meeting with Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong in Brisbane, Blinken said the whistleblower was charged with a very serious criminal conduct for his role in publishing classified American government materials. The files Assange shared in 2010 include footage of a U.S. airstrike in Baghdad that killed 18 civilians, including journalists, and that's why they're very mad at him for doing this, and hundreds of thousands of field reports from the Iraq War. There is a way to resolve it, Kennedy said on Assange's detention, adding that a plea deal would be up to the Justice Department. The Department of Justice declined to comment. The State Department did not respond to the Intercept's request for comment. The administration appears to be searching for an off-ramp ahead of the Prime Minister's first state visit to D.C. in October. Gabriel Shipton, Assange's brother, told The Intercept. If one isn't found, we could see a repeat of a very public rebuff delivered by Tony Blinken to the Australian Foreign Minister 2 weeks ago in Brisbane. Dan Rothwell, an international law expert at Australian National University, told the Morning Herald that he believes a likely outcome would involve American authorities downgrading the charges against Assange in exchange for a guilty plea, while taking into account the 4 years he has already spent in prison. In May, Kennedy met with a cross-party delegation of parliamentary supporters of Assange. The U.S. and Australia have a very important and close relationship. It's time to demonstrate that, independent MP Andrew Wilkie said at the time. Assange's case has raised major press freedom concerns. Really? It really has. Around the globe, the United States is applying extraterritorial reach by charging Assange, who is not a U.S. citizen and did not commit alleged crimes in the U.S. under its Espionage Act. A group of former Australian attorneys general wrote to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese last week. We believe that this sets a very dangerous precedent and it has the potential to put at risk anyone, anywhere in the world who publishes information that the U.S. unilaterally deems to be classified for security reasons, or retroactively considers classified. Right? All right. Guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thanks for hanging out with me every day. Tomorrow is Friday. We do us a Friday fix on Friday. And I'm going to see you all then. We'll see you all then. Until next time, peace.